Welcome back to the game of Warriors. My name is SkullCrusher Boom Beach. I'll be your host, unofficial esports caster, and participant in Group A. If this is your first time here, I'm going to redirect you to this video right here. This video will explain and break down the rules, regulations, points, scoring, and points table. If you are returning from yesterday's video, let's do this. In today's episode of Game of Warriors, Episode 4, Week 1, Op 4, we will be highlighting and showcasing Op 4 hits from Group A and breaking down the points table after Op 3 from Groups A, B, C, and D. And what an exciting competition this has been so far. Things are picking up. Some groups are getting closer than others. Some are getting incredibly unlucky. We just have to take a moment and give Ufi the respect she deserves. Some people just get incredibly unlucky. Ufi has had 3 shield gen bases in a row. No wonder Group D is running away with things. With that being said, before we begin this madness of Game of Warriors, please do not forget to leave a like on today's video. Let's do this. Points table from Op 3. Group A, Op 3 recap. Bam! Had the 210 base and is on the bottom with 0 points and only 1 solo to his name. Time for redemption, and he solidifies his 3 points with a score of 199 on Quantum. Second hit was Jabs, attempting a Bandit solo. A Bandit solo is just getting the solo with only a hero. But this went south. Warriors were called and Jab finished with a measly score of 69. But the solos could well travel a long way. 184, Lone the leader of the pack, and 159 Skully. Skully needs to steal and slow the wolf down. Exactly that happens, and 157 to Skully, and LoneWolf hitting 144. One man's garbage. In this case, Jab's hit is another one's treasure. In this case, Skully's. And it shows for the updated Group A points table with LoneWolf running away after 3 ops with 7 points. But of course, SkullCrusher not too far behind with 4 points. Jabs trailing right there with Bam Bam with 3 points apiece here. Group B, Op 3 recap. 4th position with 0 points gained has gone to the player with the choice base. As expected, Crusher making a score of 148. Any other day, that could have guaranteed a point. Not today. Leaves it between the top 3, and it seems Frank has guaranteed his 3 points off the 210 base with a score of 187. A tight one between the 184 Harry and 6 with 159. Hitters where 6 takes the advantage with 22 extra points gained from landing craft bonus, with troop loss kept at a minimum, allowing him to steal from Harry on the 184 base. 6 taking 179. Whereas Harry, 171. Seems his 13 troop loss cost him, however, he gains the 1 point and 6-2. And it reflects on the Group B points table after 3 ops, showing 6 in the lead with 6 points. 6 in the lead with 6 points. Bound to happen at some point. And Frank, not too far behind, keeping it incredibly close with 5 points after 3 ops. Crusher trailing 2 points behind with 3. And in 4th is Dirty Harry with 3 points after 3 ops. Group C, Op 3 recap. 210 base falls to Duck, who does need some serious points. He does exactly that and picks up the 3 points with a score of 161. All crafts were taken in. However, with a lesser troop loss and no landing craft bonus, Big Toe wasn't far behind with a score of 159, 2 points in it, but Toe takes the 2 massive, well-needed points. Trout, with a 159 base and a hefty lead, finally shows he isn't immortal and only picks up 33 force points for his tally non-solo. Rumor has it that it was also a failed bandit attempt on the solo. Rufus takes all troops in and steals a point with a score of 134 with no troop loss. How does this affect the tables? Trout stays on 6, while Duck closes the deficit and is now on 5. Rufus and Duck both on 3 points, but Rufus's difference, which as well know is force points gained minus troop loss off solo hits, puts Toe for 3rd spot. Group C is heating up here, all on for the halfway point for the 4th op here. Keep in mind, do not forget to tune in tomorrow to see how this sizzles now that Trout has finally failed a hit. Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me. We've got breaking news incoming from the producers. We have just received footage of Trout's failed Bandit solo. Let's take a look right here. Group D, Op 3 recap. Finally, where Jas is taking the piss with his Bandit hits. Yes, the hits are dedicated to Bandit, who once again only goes and does a Bandit hit from a 184 base, stealing a massive point. P knocks in a solid score of 198 with 44 points coming from landing craft bonus, followed by Wolf, who takes 1 point with a score of 183. Oofy yet to get off the mark with a point or a solo. She is good and it will all come in due time. Tables wise, Wolf and P swap places and this group is tight. The halfway point for all groups will be massive. The points table after 3 ops is really starting to show some leaders emerging and some players just with the most terrible luck. Oofy, things will turn around. We're talking 3 shield gen bases in a row. We will be moving into the hits from Group A, Op 4, and we got Bandits coming your way. Group A, Op 4 hits. Starting things off here with Funky Bam. Now, Funky Bam did have choice of base here with 134 Axion being the selection here. Now, unfortunately, this was 4 Boats of Warriors with Private Bullet, and since this is a non-solo here, this will result in 0 points for tomorrow's points table. Let's see what went wrong. Funky Bam, starting things off with a barrage. Looks like we were burning out the boom cannons far right of the power core there. Multiple artilleries actually coming out, clearing out the, well, attempting to clear out the flamethrower and machine gun. 3 more already coming up, finishing up the job, removing the 4 boom cannons to the right of the core. Funky Bam then gets ready to deploy Bullet. High flag drop on the mid-right of the beach here. We're going directly for that. Ooh, Grappler pulling him into the smoke. Bullet ping pong in action here. That's what we like to call the Bullet Express here. So pretty much utilizing that Grappler to pull Bullet closer to the core here. And it looks like since Bullet is the only one going up here, I believe Funky Bam's initial idea or plan was going for the Bandit. Beautiful shock point here. Remember, half the damage has already been done to that flamethrower and machine gun with the previous artillery when Funky Bam was setting up the hit here. But it looks like Bullet is at a 12 o'clock placement of the power core there. That shock does now expire on the flamethrower and machine gun. Couple artillery coming out to finish off that flamethrower at approximately 2 o'clock of the core there. Bullet now making his rounds, clearing the power cells. Looks like he will then lock onto the machine gun. A few more shots from the blunderbuss to finish that up there, and now redirect to the cannon there. Beautiful follow-up flare just to reassure. We have a follow-up shock pinning down the cannons at approximately 9 o'clock of the core to give Bullet that breathing room that he desperately needs here. One more follow-up flare to the cannon at approximately 10 o'clock of the core. We're creating that separation right now. We don't want any defenses locking onto Bullet. It's Bullet versus the clock now, and it looks like the cannons are out of range. We've got rocket launchers slowly but surely tickling away now, so we're going to speed this up now to ×2 and kind of see what happens here. Now, Bullet is there at the top right of the core, approximately 12 o'clock placement here. 2 minutes remaining. We're going to jump this to ×4 now. And Bullet is slowly dealing damage to that core right now. We're going to pause it right now. That was a critter box coming out. 133 left on the clock here. And I think at this point, Bam is realizing that there is not enough time left on the clock for Bullet to get this solo here. So I believe at this point, he's probably going to realize that he needs to deploy the other warriors to at least hopefully rely on a farm job finish. And yes, we have had a few farm job finishes this season. With 1:15 left on the clock here, it looks like that core on Axion here is at the halfway point. We've got about a 50% special here, and that's with 1 minute left. Bam has realized 4 bolts of warriors coming out on that far right deployment of the ramp there, clearing necessary snipers and power cells. Remember, every power cell and defense that we do damage and remove, it also does deal damage to the power core here. With 25 seconds left on the clock here, I mean, Bam is going for it. Warriors have been deployed. Oh my god, the critters from the critter launchers might have ended this for Bullet. Yes, they did. They distracted Bullet long enough to take his attention away from that power core, and that is unfortunate. That is a robbery, and that is a failed bandit attempt. But with that being said, Bam, that was a valiant effort, man, and that would have been absolute fire if that went through. Good try, man. Good try. Moving into the second hit here, and we've got Mr. Lone Wolf with our first successful bandit hit on video here. And again, remember, there's been a few bandits this tournament, and a bandit meaning hero only on the solo. And remember, it is stated in the rules that if the base does permit, you are allowed to just send your hero. So that's going to be absolutely huge for Lone Wolf here, because Lone Wolf did have 159 for Tapir here. So that's going to be 88 points. 11 points per unused landing craft, 8 unused landing craft. That's 88 points. 88 points added on to 159. That's essentially what Wolf's score will be for tomorrow. So that is huge. And I'm also realizing and paying attention to the fact that since Bam and Jabs do have 2 non-solos, all I need is the solo for the guaranteed second, because there's no way I'm going to be able to get a freaking bandit with my Komondor selection. So again, we'll scout my hit when it does come to that. But let's check this madness out here. We've got We've got Lone Wolf sending it on 159 to Tapir, Bullet as the hero of choice, Bullet as the only troop of choice. We've got a bandit incoming. Let's check it out. All right, this is going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy here. So Bullet is coming out on that far right side of the ramp there. We've got a couple critter boxes coming. Oh, no, artillery coming out. My bad. Few more artillery. That looked like about 7 already there, taking out the boom cannons. Or now we're following up on the mortars at approximately 11 and 12 o'clock right there. Beautiful job. Now we've got critters coming out. Necessary defenses have been removed for that shock launcher, and the critters did a great job clearing up that shock launcher. So now they're chewing up the power cells, giving more gunboat energy for the hit here, and this is beautiful. Reposition now. Looks like Bullet is coming in at approximately 3 o'clock of the core there. Nothing behind him. This is beautiful. That was a fantastic setup there, utilizing the artillery on the start there to clear the boom cannons and clear the mortars as well. And now there's absolutely no threat here. And this is Bullet and his blunderbuss against the clock here. 1:45 left on the clock here. We're going at ×4 speed here. Now, a little bit of an unorthodox Tapir layout as well, because normally, wait a minute, we did have a shock launcher there. The critters just removed it. Absolutely beautiful bandit from Lone Wolf here, as Bullet is just honestly drinking as he needs, bringing down that core, and in 3, 2, 1, mustard in the bottle. Boom! Goes the dynamite. Lone Wolf Successful bandit. That was a great job on the bandit hit right there. And I know Jabs was going in for his bandit hit as well. He was not. I think he started off as a bandit hit, but then realized just like Bam that he wasn't getting it. So he did have to follow up and deploy a few boats of warriors, but this is unfortunate from Jabs here because this is a non-solo. This will result in 0 points for tomorrow's points table. Let's check this hit out. And you know what? This looks beautiful for the bullet-only solo. So I'm not sure exactly how much health was on this power core here. Building damage 150. We've got building health at plus 409%. I'm sure you can work that math out and figure this out. But it looks like we've got barrages coming out. As bullet is being flared the path to our kill zone, multiple barrages coming out, clearing those shock launchers. Follow-up flare to get bullet at a high 12 of the power core here. A few more artillery coming out, dealing necessary damage to those shock launchers. Looks like we might have at least one of those shock launchers in range. But you know what? All Jabs really has to do is remove that top one right there. But it does look like bullet is actually on the outside range of that shock launcher. So the funny thing is all that gunboat energy, Jabs, once you actually see this hit, was not even needed. Because we still have the closest shock launcher to the power core highlighted, and that's the range right there. So you actually had bullet outside the range of those shock launchers, specifically the closest shock launcher to the power core there. So we're going to speed this up now to ×2 here. Bullet is at a high 12, out of range of the shock launchers that have been arted out. And this is bullet versus the clock here. So not always the most exciting. I didn't see that right away. We do have critters actually farming on the left side of the map here. But not always the most exciting hit here. But it is strategy. And when you are in a competition and with Game of Warriors, you want to do what you can to solidify those 3 points here. And Jabs had everything right. Everything was set up for this. Just unfortunately, the execution did not fall through here. With 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the hit here, bullet is just chipping away. There looks like we're at approximately a 40% special right now with about 40% HP left on that power core there. We do know that we've got at least 2 to 3 boats of warriors coming out because we did see that from the troop loss on the replay log there. Another critter box coming out approximately, helping Jab deal damage to that core there. With 59 seconds left, I am still anticipating those warriors coming out on either the left or the right. But remember, we've got shock launchers, we've got rocket launchers, we've got mortars, machine guns, we've got an incredibly hot beach, which means 0 breathing room for any troops being deployed on that beach. With 30 seconds left on the clock here, bullet still at a high 12, slowly chipping away here. Those warriors should be coming out. There they go, 3 boats right up the middle. Jabs might have dropped those warriors just a little bit too late. I think he was pretty sure that he was going to get that solo there. And of course, with time running out, look at that sliver of purple left. I've said it once and I'll say it before. Cough, sneeze, and fart on that thing, and it's fallen over. Jabs, valiant effort, but 0 points for tomorrow's table. Moving into SkullCrusher's hit, and I think we have been selected Komondor. Let's take a look right here. Now, I am already fully boosted here. Luckily, I already took a look a little bit earlier and realized that we did not have a shock launcher on this critter launcher placement, so that makes me happy. But we do have a grappler here. It's not that the bandit would have been possible anyways, but we're pretty much just going to clear the mines here, get bullet and the warriors right back to this boom cannon right here, and it's going to be a 2 shock cycle, pretty much pinning down these machine guns right here, and then these 5 critter launchers with that with that flamethrower as well. And depending on how much GBE we do have left, we might flirt with a box of critters R2 here. But I'm going to do this with bullet and 5 boats of warriors. So let's start things off with just clearing the mines because, you know, this is going to hurt a little bit. Let's get barrage right over here. That barrage is actually being placed from approximately 9 to 12. Beautiful. Now we're going to get our second barrage. That second barrage is going to be placed at approximately a low 6 of the core there. Get that mine. Perfect. So now we have a few mines on the landing right here. So we're going to get 1 right there. 1 right here. And I think we should actually be able to move 1 more. Actually, I should have moved that over 1 more. All right, we'll get rid of that one right there, which leaves me with 131. Remember, I pretty much only need 2 shocks for when we do get bullet and the warriors in position here. So we're going to start things off with a flare landing. And because the warriors are much faster than bullet, we're going to go 4... Actually, we're going to do 4 boats of warriors. 4 boats of warriors, and we're going to draw a bullet. now. Just give Bullet a little bit of breathing room because honestly, yeah, when those warriors get going, yeah, Bullet's got a very difficult time keeping up here. So we're going to ground flare directly, keeping it tight on the right here, directly underneath that, directly underneath that critter launcher. Okay, and those warriors are already getting ready to surpass Bullet, but next ground flare will transition into our next ground flare. And that ground flare is going to be directly to the right of the boom cannon that I'm planning on anchoring on. So let's go 1-1, and now we'll flare directly to the boom cannon, because I'm not going to 4-core smoke drop. Might be a little bit too aggressive on the gunboat energy, so we're going to time the smoke expiring to flaring to the core while cycling our shock. So we're going to flare to the core right now. One critter, shock, shock. So perfect timing. Right as that smoke expires, warriors are transitioning to the core flare here. We did cycle our critter and our 2 shocks. Looks like I'm not going to have enough mustard. Oh my god. I don't think we're going to have enough mustard in the bottle here. Because that grappler is there as well. I'm kind of relying on this little chunk of warriors at about, 6 o'clock here to bring this home. I got 1 OG warrior at 3, but that boom cannon took him out here. Remember, we're doing this with 4 bolts of warriors, and holy crap, that made me nervous at the end there. But we are going to pull through on the 184 Komondor with 4 boats of warriors. We are going to succumb to some casualties here, minus the troop loss here, but we will actually walk away with plus 44 for the landing craft bonus, which is very, very excited. A guaranteed 2nd place due to LoneWolf's insane 210 Bandit. Are you freaking kidding me? Beautiful. So that's 31 casualties right there. So it looks like for tomorrow, my score will be 184 plus 44 minus 31. Guaranteed 2nd spot for op number 4. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember to bring the hammer down. We'll see you all on the next episode of Game of Warriors. Have a wonderful night, my friends. Peace!